lunch today on this dreary wet Monday. We didn't have any big potatoes, so I'm having to use these little potatoes. Oh dear, they're so small, but I'm having 3 because I'm hungry. It's 1:30 and I'm hungry, and I've made some my own hummus to go on top. I love jacket potato with hummus. And you've seen me make this before, hummus, but if you want me to tell you how I make it, then let me know. And then it's raining, and I'm hungry, and I'm gonna eat. Hey guys, we haven't really spoken much today, have we? It's 4 o'clock already. You haven't missed much, to be honest with you, and all I have been doing all day today is why is it when I start vlogging my phone rings? Ignoring it, it's a withheld number, and withheld numbers are usually sales people. Yeah, so I've just been upstairs in my orifice all day sorting out admin, because over the weekend I try not to do any emails or anything, just so that I can switch off and relax, because if you know me, you know that I'm not always very good at switching my brain off, so I'm trying really hard lately to not like do emails and all that kind of stuff, to try and like chill my brain a bit, like at evenings and weekends. So Mondays I always have to catch up from like Friday, because the trouble is, because you've got international people, like even my sort of Friday night when I log off is like people when they're just getting up in some countries. So I get quite a lot of emails, and so Monday I always have to sort out loads of emails and do loads of like different admin bits. And then today had all the rest of the box stock came in today, so I was just sorting through that and listing some new stock on the website, and yeah, just generally doing admin stuff. And I always find on a Monday that, I don't know, firstly I struggle to get into anything after the weekend. I think that's life, I've always been like that. And it's been so wet and dreary, it has not stopped raining all day today, so that kind of doesn't help the mood. And to top it all off, I'm in a bit of pain today. You know, I said I fell over on Saturday. Well, you know, Saturday I was absolutely fine, and then just at night I was a bit sore, and then yesterday I was fine. I was just a little bit stiff and sore, but nothing, you know, I kind of thought, well, that's to be expected, isn't it? And then last night I was a bit in bed, and then I woke up this morning, ouch, a Rooney, and I was like, John, you've got to have a look at my lower back and my shoulder, like where my impact zones. I was like, they feel so bruised. And then John had to look for me, and yeah, my bruising's coming out now. So that's obviously why it's quite painful, is because I've now got bruises. So he rubbed some ibuprofen gel in me before he went to work. And so if I haven't been doing admin, I've basically been just kind of keep standing up and stretching and being a bit because it hurts. I haven't cleaned the girls out today, which is so bad of me, but it hurts to bend down, so, and sort of like be down for quite a period of time whilst I clean them out and everything. So John's going to clean them out for me tonight. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Yeah, so that's what's been happening today. I wrote a couple of things down that I want to talk about. Like last night I said I'll write on a post note some things I wanted to talk about. I might not talk about them all today. I might just like do it over the week. Who knows? We'll see. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to talk about and show you today is a book. Some of you have asked for more of a book and film tour of that cupboard, and the answer is yes, I will do that. However, it's a lot worse than what you saw it the other day, because all of the box stock has now arrived. That cupboard is full of cardboard boxes, and so need to kind of empty that. I'm not sure when we're going to do a recycle centre trip, so it might have to wait until Vlogtober. We'll see if I can get in that cupboard without breaking my neck, and being able to show you round. Then I will during Vlogust. If not, I'll do it during Vlogtober. I said the other day I wasn't sure if I was going to do Vlogtober or not, and then I thought, well, why not? I do enjoy it, so why not? Which does mean I probably won't do any like day in the lifestyle type vlogs in September. I'll probably have September off, but then I'll see you again for Vlogtober, which hopefully will be good. So yeah, so I was talking last night about like taking lots of photos and stuff. I took 150 photos of the girls yesterday, so I think we're good for the rest of the year. But I feel a lot better now. We've got like just a ton of photos of them, and I think when it comes to photos, they don't have to be like the best, and I think that is one of the reasons why I stopped taking so many photos, is because I don't really go on Facebook as a personal thing anymore. I go in groups and stuff, but not on my own Facebook. But anyway, I used to post quite a lot of photos on there, and I used to often get comments from people sort of about my photos, because they used to say, well, hang on a minute, that's not really good, you know, you're a photographer, rah, rah, rah. And it's like, when people used to assume that just because you were a photographer that you would take studio quality photos like all the time, and you don't. For a start, there's different photography, has different disciplines, and you know, I used to be a boudoir photographer, which means very dark, very sexy, moody lighting, very arty, that kind of stuff, and that's not the sort of photos that you would take when you're out on the beach. You know, so it's totally different like principles, like photography, and different expertise and all that kind of stuff. And people used to be like, sort of make comments on my photos, and it's like, look, just because I'm a photographer, I'm allowed to take snaps, holiday snaps, and they don't have to be amazing. They can be taken with your phone. It's better to record the day and have memories and stuff than it is to not, because you're worried about taking the perfect photo. No siree. It's kind of the same with journals, I think, and all principles, that a lot of people don't do journaling because they're worried about making the perfect page. Oh, for God's sake, just get on and do it, doesn't matter, whatever. Same with photography, only I got a bit lax at, you know, taking photos. I'm really interested in social historic photography. I find it really fascinating, and the more I look at something I've always been into, like, I'll just say that, something I've always been into, but the more I look around at people's project life albums and stuff, the more I'm like, yes, because I like don't get me wrong, like special days out and holidays, they're great, they're fantastic to record, you know, because it's really nice to look back on them and go, oh, do you remember when we went to the Lake District? But I also think that everyday life is really love it. You know, just like little snippets of your daily life, which at the time may seem really boring. And I feel with like photos and stuff, kind of the same with a journal, diary, planner, what have you, that if you were to leave it for future generations, I would love to have seen a Project Life album from my grandparents, like what they ate for dinner, because believe you me, what they ate for dinner is probably 100% different to what I ate for dinner. You know, if we're talking like pre-war, wartime, that kind of thing, can you imagine how different that is? And I think, like, for example, your hometown, if you take a photo of your hometown, you're kind of like, well, that's a bit like, you know, what's the point in taking a picture of your hometown? And I think you don't think anything of it, but stuff changes, and sometimes it's so subtle that you don't, because you're there all the time, you don't notice. Like weight loss, you know, like for example, your husband could lose weight and you probably wouldn't notice because you just see the gradual change, but someone who hasn't seen them for a long time would go, oh, you've lost half a stone, haven't you? You know what I mean? And I think when you look at stuff like that, it's quite fascinating. And found some photos of my nearest town from like 10 years ago. And you just think, oh my God, how much has it changed? And it's probably changed a lot in the last year. You know, shops come and go. And I think it's really interesting with to see how cars change. Like when we go on holiday, particularly when we're camping, but when we go on holiday, I always take a picture of the car that we're in, because I think cars are very interesting because they show how times have changed, like how the styles have changed. And you know, if you're in an old Cortina or something like that, or an old Sierra, you know, it's kind of like you can, I think that's really interesting to see. And at the time you're kind of like, well, why are you taking a picture of the car, Anna, next to the tent, and that kind of stuff? It seems a bit strange, but then down the line you're like, oh, remember that beaten up old Sierra we used to have, you know, that kind of thing. And I just think that's really interesting. So I'm like well behind the philosophy of project life, and you know, when you look back on stuff, it's really interesting. And I particularly like beach social history. So I'm often focusing on like the beach huts, how they change, and the town and the beach, and because I think you can tell a lot about the period in history as well by what people are wearing. And I wanted to show you a book, which is why I'm babbling on. I can't remember if this is my book or John's book, but we just treat it as our book now. And I have a feeling that I may have bought it for John. That's just a feeling I have, but he may have bought it for me. We've had it ages and we bought it for one another. That's all I suppose we need to say about it. So it's the photography of Leroy Grannis. I don't know how you pronounce that. Surf photography of the 1960s and 70s. So if this sort of stuff interests you, it's massive. Look, there's my hand. It's a coffee table book, and it's full of photography. It's really chunky, but it's just fascinating. And I mean, yeah, he was employed as you know, he was a photographer who used to go around surf championships and stuff taking photos, so that was his job. But now when you look back at it, if you were to look at this photo, you would take that and to you yourself right now, you might be, oh, that's a little bit of a crappy photo, there's, you know, no one's in it, you can't really necessarily identify anything. But then when you start looking at it, you think, crikey, like, you know, well, there's a van, but you look at all the different cars and you just think, crikey, like, we don't have those cars anymore. But that suddenly becomes like a really interesting photograph, I think. And it's the same like with fashion and stuff. I mean, I love that. I love this shot. But like, you don't see women really. I mean, some of these like vintage style swimming costumes have come back into fashion, but you just don't see it. I like this one, right? It's huge. This is a shot of the car park at the beach, and you might think, like, you necessarily wouldn't take a photo of the car. I mean, you might. I would, but you might not necessarily take a photo of the car park. But now, looking back on it, you think, blooming heck, look at these cars. You know, and I just find that really fascinating. And like this, right? Nothing necessarily gives it away that it's a 60s or 70s shot per se. He's just in a pair of shorts, he's just got a board. But then when you look at his hairdo, fabulous. And so I love this book, I really do. Just think it's so, it's like a bit of writing in it as well. But yeah, I'm just saying that, like, you know, how much you can tell about the history of stuff. You know, you could just tell how old that is, like a 60s, 70s shot, because men wouldn't really wear dress trousers like that at the beach these days, for number one. And number two, they don't tend to wear these like baggier style of clothing. And yeah, there's a lot of writing in here, but there's also a lot of photography as well. And I just find this sort of stuff really interesting. And I was trying to do that, like thinking with the mind of, I haven't really taken many photos this year, I'm really bad, I should take more photos. And because I love this book so much, I was trying to, when we went to Wells on Saturday, I was trying to take a load of kind of photos around and about on the beach. I was mindful of obviously children. You know, One of my bugbears is children who are naked on the beach, but that's another story for another time. But I was mindful of, you know, not getting, like, I tried to, you know, take pictures of people's faces or of children, but trying to get like a general, like, landscape kind of thing like that, just for kind of, you know, historical reference, really. Awesome shot. Awesome shot. So yeah, that's like that. That is fantastic, isn't it? And this chick just, you know, cycling down. Anyway, I just wanted to show you this book and talk a little bit about social historic photography and documenting the here and now, even though, like, that might not be a photo that you would necessarily want right now in your album. You don't know, like, you don't know who any of these people are, anything like that. You know, you might not want this photo. It doesn't really symbolise that much right now. But then in the future, my God, it symbolises so much now, I think. See what I mean? These ladies, absolutely classic. Oh, he's a bit of all right. He's quite cute. Digging the glasses and the moustache combo. That is awesome. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'm going to go and make a cup of tea and sit down for a bit and ease me back, because my back started to hurt again, and will soon be time to start cooking dinner. It usually comes around faster than you think it does sometimes. Yeah, so I'll catch up with you later. The courgettes are still coming thick and fast. They're all wet because they've had, it's been raining. That, I don't think is seriously bad. We've got 3 definite plants that are productive. One that's sort of. And so that's, then he planted 1, 2, 3, 4 others. So let's say 10 seeds out of a pack of goodness knows how many for like £1. That's really not bad value for money at all, is it? So yes, another courgette based meal tonight. Hubble bubble, toil and trouble. Looks great, doesn't it? It'd be great for Halloween. It's Mexican green rice. The green is because I blended fresh coriander in water for the stock. That's why it's green. Looks so good. So, will you stop doing that with the cutlery? Thank you. Shh. So tonight's dinner is from The Vegan Taste of Mexico by Linda. Can't pronounce her name. Got half a stuffed courgette on a bed of green rice. It's not as good as I've done it in the past because I don't seem to be able to do recipes the same 2 times. But there we go. That's what's for tonight's dinner. That was scrummy. Clean plates all round. Makes a lot, that recipe though. To be fair, I did follow the recipe. So we've got all of that rice left. And another courgette. But we'll probably either have that tomorrow night, or if we don't have it for tomorrow night, then I shall box it up and send John to work with it for his lunch, and I'll have some for my lunch too. So we're off to B&Q in a moment, which is a DIY place, because John wants to get some more paint, and it's next door to Pets at Home, and we need more hay for the rascals, so that's what we're doing. We're home and I come bearing gifts. I bought you a treat. I said I'd come back with a treat.
Daddy got you treats.
No, I got treats for girls.
Yeah.
Got them this trio of balls which they love, and one of these things which they also love. Just packing up the leftovers, ready for lunch tomorrow. Got loads, absolutely loads.